In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Crypto fam, it's your boys CryptoKeeper, BlockchainCrusader, and CVO Crypto for another edition of TA Thursday.
Common sense collide. Starring.
Bro, what you doing, bro? What you doing?
Blockchain.
What you doing, CryptoKeeper?
What do you mean?
Guys, let's get the boomer fixed. Hold on, he doesn't know how to handle technology.
Bro, I'm not doing anything.
Crypto fam, it's your boys CryptoKeeper.
It's not me. You've got Twitter playing.
It's just magic, right? It's not coming from my end. It's coming from your end.
Dude,
Common sense collide. Starring.
I'm telling you, I don't have anything open. Nothing.
Blockchain.
What you doing, CryptoKeeper? Let's get the boomer fixed. Hold on, you don't have Twitter open?
Oh, I'm not doing anything.
Crypto fam, it's your boys CryptoKeeper.
It's not me. You've got Twitter playing.
It's just magic, right? It's not coming from my end.
It was you. It was you.
Might have been me.
Dude, at any event. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's a good way to get us started. We want to make sure that they all knew who we were.
So absolutely, guys. We wanted to give you a little bit of an echo, right? And we just, the crypto space sometimes can. This is kind of a thing that we need to think through. The crypto space can sometimes be a little bit of an echo chamber, and so. Okay, yeah. So at any event, sorry about that, guys. Great way to kick off the evening. So, Paul, Miguel, how you doing?
Doing good, man.
Doing good. Yeah, that was definitely my mistake. I pulled up the YouTube so I could send the link in my group, and I left it open. So it's like running through. It's like coming out of my speakers. I'm like, what is this coming from?
I was like, I know it's not me, bro. I know it's not. Yeah, no worries. But yeah, so guys, welcome to Debate Crypto, where we question everything and
trust nothing.
That's right. And we were definitely questioning where that was coming from. Guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure that you guys smash the likes, subscribe, do all the things that you know to do to let YouTube know that you guys love us very much. On Thursday nights, we do TA Thursdays. We bring CVO Crypto on. He has been a TA prophet of sorts from time to time. I don't want to build him up too much, but this last week, I gotta give credit where credit's due. We haven't. Hey, Paul, we looked to pull the clip. Dude, I didn't have enough time to sit there for the whole hour and find exactly where basically he made a fantastic call last week. What'd you say?
Excuses.
I know. I'm full of those. But yeah, so Thursdays, guys, is TA Thursday. We do just a quick rundown. Mondays, Magic Money Mondays. Wednesdays, we have What If Wednesday, where we kind of put our tinfoil hats on. TA Thursday, Saturday nights, and this Saturday night, want to throw this out there, we've got a debate. The debate this week is proof of stake versus proof of work, and it's Mind Your Biz versus, that's right, Biscuit Jesus. That's BJ from BitBoy Crypto Show, and he's a freaking mad scientist. I'm excited to have him on. It's gonna be fun. So without further ado, let's get into it. Miguel, do you want to do a quick little market rundown here, or what are we thinking?
We're green and we're red.
Well,
we can go up and we can go down. There it is, guys.
All right. Well, then I guess we're just going to let Paul jump right into it. Guys, make sure you smash the likes. Make sure you do all the great things. We appreciate you. Paul, what's the market looking like, brother?
Go ahead and share my screen, my friend.
Better question is what's different this week from last week, right? We saw a little pump. Now we're trying to see kind of a little retracement. What are you seeing in the charts?
Well, I mean, like we were talking about last week, right? This is essentially this range that we've been in for the last. Well, we can see right here. We basically fell into this range basically on the 5th of January, and we fell from this $46,000 level. Basically, been ranging in between here, right? From the highs to the lows. Your lows come in about right now about $37,000. The high comes in right about 45. And then last week, that level we were talking about, we were looking to get above. Last week, we were still down in this region, I believe. and we were looking to call them these doomsday levels, so to speak. And we were looking to regain this, right? So like, once again, this was essentially last week. This is what, Friday. So we would have talked around here, give or take. So this is what we looked like last week. And this was essentially, you know, what we were kind of dealing with. And as long as we were living below this level, you know, these lower levels here were still in play. These two targets down here are volume targets. So these are point of controls. At the time, this one was not back tested. So it was known as the naked point of control right here. And this is one of the main targets that we were, you know, basically looking towards as we started coming down. And we were looking to see if we got this other one. We have a monthly and a weekly. Monthly is obviously going to hold more weight than a weekly time frame. So we did get the monthly on there and basically tracked up from there. We came up, tackled on back into this range, right? So we were holding these lows right here. I'll go ahead and take these doomsday levels off now, not to confuse everybody. And the reason that we were looking at these levels, though, it was $39,500 to essentially $41,000. And reason being is that similar to this, you know, these volume targets down here, there was high average price targets up to the upside here. So we had a 2-year key level basically coming in right here at about that $39,800 level. So this was basically the bottom of that little, you know, get above box. We want to start living above it, holding it and moving on to support. The top of that came in at about $41,000 because that was essentially putting us back into this little mini range right here that we first came down to when we first broke down. And it's just kind of like taking the stairs back up, right? And so since we got above that, now you got this, you know, major, go ahead and play out the regular price action here. We've got a 2-year major level now below us as support. Granted, it is back down at $39,000, give or take $800. So if we do break that $40,000 key level, not key level, the $40,000 whatever, you know, mental level that everybody would probably go mental over if we start coming back down to that. This is actually a really big level of support right there. So not really out of the question to come back down and find some support at this level. We've also got
So what's the likelihood that we do that? What's the likelihood that we go below 40 back to that, you know, 39K support level? Do you see that as a likely outcome? Very possible, you know, 50-50 kind of chance, or
I mean, yeah, I mean, anything's possible right now, especially since we did come up and let me throw all these on here real quick and I'll kind of walk you through what
I saw somebody talking about a little reverse and upside down head and shoulders and an inverse head and shoulders. Is that something that I'm looking at there? If so, can you show me what that kind of looks like there? I think I see it, but
I would assume they're talking about this. I imagine. I don't know if I would, you know, not maybe yet. Well, I guess
that's
working on.
I just want to say that head looks like it's a 2-headed person, like it's a mutated 2-head. I don't think that looks like an average.
I mean, it could play out like that. I think I would imagine that that's probably what they're talking about, kind of like, you know, anticipating that to kind of come through. So that could totally, I guess, be, you know, something to look for. I think I looked at that earlier actually, and that would give a target of like $57,000, which is pretty much the biggest volume target we have left to the upside if we come through this. So give or take.
Just real quick, when you just grabbed that, can you just tell me for all the new people that are trying to learn TA there? I know the measure you made, but can you just tell them the measure that you just made there, that when you move that up?
Yeah, let me clean it, get a better chart here. Yeah, so for what they're talking about is that, you know, a possible inverse head and shoulders, which would, I'll just go ahead and kind of draw it out again, I guess. You kind of have this neckline going this way, and like this kind of super sloppy, honestly, but I guess this is what they're going to be playing out. But then you have that shoulder there. This would come down as a head. Say we head back down and sweep that, you know, 40-ish K level. There's a couple of reasons down there anyways, and then you come back up and start taking this up. This would be looked at as an inverse head and shoulders, as what probably most people are looking for. To get a measured move out of this, you would go from the neckline all the way down basically to the base, and then you'd put this at the level of the breakout. And that would give you about an approximation of where that measurement would take you up.
I think we found a new name for that formation.
I bet.
Oh,
Dong and bullets.
don't get us started. We've been busy trolling on Twitter, and don't
I
get
was
me
waiting for
started.
somebody
Now.
to pull it out. It's always when you go to draw that one up that that it comes out pretty comical.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's you know I'm sure that that's something that'll definitely be, you know, anticipated or viewed.
So do you think a lot of people are calling for that low 20 area, right? Even possibly lower than 20. Is that still in play in any kind of scenario that you're foreseeing outside of a like black swan, you know, interest rate hike, market crash scenario in the TA? Do you think that can still happen?
Below 20?
Yeah, like even into 20, even into the 20s, right? Like below 30, into the 20s.
Well, a better
but more
question
than
then,
below 20s.
Miguel. The better question is: do you think that we had our local bottom at 33 right now, or do you think we're going to go back down and start flirting with that again?
For now, we're in the, you know, basically if you come back down, and I would imagine if you come and start taking out this monthly open right here, which is about $38,500, you start closing below this, then we're probably coming back down to this 32 level at least. More than likely, we're going to clear out that doomsday target that we had down there. It's just a little bit below.
Yeah.
An NP, it's a volume target right below that, about 32,000. And then there is this area right here. Like, and this is just, I guess, worst case scenario, just answering that question, right? If we just completely just move to the downside, start putting in lower lows, then yeah, I guess that this would be back on the table. And then you'd be, you know, for me, I do this right here, this area is essentially the golden ratio, I would say, golden pocket, golden ratio, however you want to look at. But this is basically the 0.618 area from the 2020 March crash all the way to the 69K top. So this would be the mother of all load the truck zones, in my opinion. And I don't think we'd get anywhere near 20K. We, you know, if we start breaking down to this level, this would definitely be a big area of interest. Could it go lower at that point? I guess always, but I don't necessarily think you'd have to, you know, really be looking. I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily smart to be looking so far down at this point now, because we are now we cleared through, right? We came through this 2-year key level.
Yeah.
Okay. You came through actually 2 other quarterly levels as well, 2 quarterly key levels. So these are 3-month averages essentially. We're coming into our range high. So, I mean, that's not unnormal to just kind of get rejected here, probably come back a bit. We've actually got the point of control is where you generally find your base off of. When you start getting rejected at these highs, or when you start, you know, bouncing from the lows, and that point of control comes right in here at about $42,000.
Okay.
It's also basically stacked up with this quarterly level. So you got a lot of support below, like big support below us. Not only are we sitting right now on a quarterly level, you got one right below that with the point of control. So that's basically double stacked right there. We've got this weekly pivot. So this weekly pivot to me, I think, is where we probably, if we start coming down pretty good right now, this is a big area. This is also where the CME futures gap lies, right? So for anybody that doesn't really know what that is, the CME
there's a gap down there.
There is, yeah. So it's exactly right there where that
doomsday scenario. Dun dun dun.
There's a gap down to 25 as well. It doesn't mean we're going to go grab it.
Yeah, exactly. There's a gap all the way down to like 3K. I mean, they don't always get filled.
Or are we?
But this one may, right? Like, I mean, this was pretty close, so it's something to consider. And then, like I said, more than anything, too, there's
Crypto Face says we're going all the way down there, bro. So
does it? And we might.
He said we're going down. We're close to 0. So
it might go to 0 too. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, anyways, there's this. So there's some correlation there, but yeah, just.
But on the serious note, a lot of a lot of panic selling hands, like somebody we have on the show here every day.
Yeah, the 5% that I planned and sold.
Right? No. It's not about what you sold, but you know, like a lot of other people were saying, if we close below 39, I'm calling a bear market. It's over, guys. It's doom and gloom. Time to go home. We went down. We closed below it. Now we're back. So is the bear market over? Was that it? Like, was that the bear market, or is that like? Or was that never a bear market?
I think we should clip this, and I just want to throw out there that when this unfortunately twists around on us and 69 does end up being the top, I just want to have this. Here, let me scratch down on my little notepad here. This Miguel thinks he's.
But who's really on top on the 69?
That's a good question. I mean, you've got to.
Right? Is it Bitcoin or is it the investors?
Listen, I don't know. That's a question we might need to put out on Twitter. Might need to put that out on a Twitter poll. Right.
Oh, we got Nick over here
Oh
rapping and
God,
dropping beats.
he's beatboxing
He's
on us
dropping
now,
beats,
man.
bro.
Jesus.
Dropping beats, dude.
All right.
So yeah, man, what did you think about that? What did you think about the fact that we closed below 39? Everybody was calling a bear market at that point. Is that was that a bear market? Is it over, or are we just having a dead cat bounce here?
What's going on, Nick? Throw my screen back on here again.
The beats specialist.
What happened? What happened? It started.
I don't know. You started dropping beats. You're just like ret.
Dude, what is going on? Okay.
Gotta get that.
I had a really good thing that,
bro.
I had a really good thing that I was starting to say, and I was starting to say, guys, if you want the real calls on Twitter, like the dong and boulders as opposed to a head and shoulders, God, follow us on Twitter, right? That's ultimately what we bring. We bring the heat on Twitter. Make sure you guys follow us, Debate Crypto OG. Okay, continue, Paul. Sorry.
OG. Yeah. So just a very, I try to keep it very simple, right? So this is 8 lines. I know that can be somewhat overwhelming, I guess, to some. But just looking at this, right? This is I've been covering this pretty much every day on a daily live stream on TikTok every morning. And you might have a little double top here for the short term, right? So that kind of gives a little bit more, justification of this possible downside. But I want to show you something on the daily time frame here in a second. But on a very just simple scale here, you're looking to continuation to the upside. You're looking to break this range high that we've been in, right? You can see where we're getting nailed down each time. Wicks above. This is the 4-hour time frame. So we're you're not breaking it out, closing above here at all, getting rejected each time. Now we do have these 2 key levels right here. Once again, these are big time averages in price. And so this comes in as a nice support. There's one below that as well. You've also got a volume target right below that comes in as support as well. As you can see here, when we busted through that big make it above this level to continue upwards, we went straight up to this volume target right there, right? Consolidated a bit below, broke above, kept going up. And then we basically essentially met the range highs, got rejected, and then we come back basically to the point of control most times. So that is about 42K. It is also this quarterly level, right? From here, you lose this level, and we're probably going to see this weekly pivot. Now, this is also where that CME futures gap is, and I can assure you that most people will be loading up right here, thinking this would be the bottom, taking a lot of longs, and maybe that could be, right? This is the thing, right? This could be the bottom. This could be where we turn around. This could be where we turn around, so on and so on. But as long as we are living above this monthly open down here, it's 38,500, and even if you come all the way down to that, right, you break all these major supports right here. You come through this one. I do think we'd break through this one right here, just because everybody would probably load it up. It's right at the 40K base. Everybody's going to think that's our ground zero.
40 is going to be the scary one if we drop back down, right?
Because correct. And just like you just said, right, you see 39K popping back up, even if it's 39.9. It's just psychological. Like everybody just freaks out about that when realistically, nobody's probably looking at this. This is a 2-year level right below it at 39,800, major support right there. If for some reason that is lost too, and then you got this monthly open below you and you got your range lows essentially. But even if you came down to this monthly open and we turned around, you're still putting in a higher low. You got your obviously higher highs, and this is a solid uptrend, right? That we're putting in right now. Now, one of the biggest things I've been looking for is
I just want to make that clear to everybody that if we do drop below 39K, don't start calling bear market again, Nick. We will be fine.
So that would be, these are the levels to watch to the downside, and like I said, very, very big reasons behind these levels, right? Not just because this was support back in July of last year, or this is where we, whatever, like I said, these are very big whys behind all these levels right here. And now taking it back, right? I want to take a look at, I'm going to clear out, I'm going to go to that other chart real quick. That's pretty much empty. Ooh, that one ain't empty. There we go. Okay. So on the daily time frame, right? You see that now what we've come in and done is we put in a higher high on daily. So now we're essentially nailing down an uptrend at the moment. All you got to see is this higher low come in, right? So that higher low can literally come in anywhere above this spot right here. So that's almost $37,000. So as long as we come in and we hold somewhere at one of those levels I just pointed out, more than likely we're going to turn around from there, and it can get a little beefy, right? It can get down to $37,000 almost, and then turn around at those range lows. That was about 37,000, right? And you'd still be putting in an uptrend. And basically, when you get these daily uptrend reversals like this, a perfect example is this one right here. All right, you came around. This was your high at the time. Did exactly the same thing in July. We came up. We basically put in a higher high. We did come down. We made a higher low, right? Obviously, that was your low, so you didn't even come close to it. But from there, we basically just ripped to the upside. So more than likely, we're going to see some downside here, right, for a hot minute, and maybe just the next couple of days over the weekend, whatever it is. Who knows? It could happen just basically over tonight, and then we just get a nice, turnaround there. But
I think
regardless, go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Regardless, finish what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying. I mean, regardless, I mean, things are in pretty good shape with this uptrend on a daily time frame. Like I said, so just looking to put in this lower high somewhere. We got, like I said, just going back to the other chart there. I mean, like I said, there's plenty of reasons below us why we would should catch support. Everything's possible, I guess, and we could just go straight down to whatever 10K. Whatever everybody is looking at. But yeah, I mean, you're talking, you got major levels right here that we were living below all of them right here. And when you get a big, green candle like that shooting you above, generally, you just come back down, you're going to retest one of these and then you take off. So a lot of volume came in to push us through that. Unless one big red one comes in to take us back out. I mean, that's a lot of support coming in below us right there.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I was going to say. I think too often a lot of people have came into the space in 2021, even up until just now, and I know what it feels like when you're, let's just say, new within the last year. You want to see. I mean, we all want to see it, right? Up and to the right, just keep going, and then and it'll be like almost, especially if you've been in stocks before, I think, because like the moves feel so intense compared to the stock market. And so I guess I want to remind people, like, yes, you need to risk management 100%, because if you listen to around the crypto space, you're going to hear more people like myself, of course, Miguel, because Miguel, has never been wrong before, but will be unsure. People are unsure of themselves, right? People who otherwise were making some like long-term real deal calls on the market are now kind of pulling back and saying, listen, you need to work, pay attention, risk management. We really don't know what's happening here, and actually opening up and saying, hey, listen, we're speculating. Well, when that kind of an attitude comes into the market, there's a reason for it. And so all I want to throw out there is these things that Paul was just showing, the pullback down around that 40 to 42 number or whatever, it would be nothing but healthy for the market. The market can't continue to just go up and to the right, because however fast it can go up and to the right, I promise you from experience, it comes down faster. I have woke up, in basically an 8-hour time period, I have woke up with a drastic amount different in my portfolio than I went to bed the night before, and it's
that's assumed that the United States never puts Bitcoin on its balance sheet. That would change up and to the right only after that, just like inflation,
just like the dollar, right? Oh, just like inflation.
So CVO, right? You've mentioned that, and you've shown on the charts that the markets have been these like consolidation periods. They drop, consolidate for extended periods, they bounce, consolidate, they drop. So with that being said, right, do you think that the original standard of a crypto winter is officially over? Can we like officially just erase that out of our minds and just not ever take that into consideration again? Well, I know Panic Hands. I know you're just waiting for that winter because you live in snow. But us here that are tropical weather that don't ever have to deal with snow, we don't think about that. So, do you think that's still a possibility? Crypto winters?
I, the thing with the crypto winter is, right, it's just, I mean, if you look back just the last few weeks, you know, a lot of these altcoins and Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin fell 52%, it fell 50, almost 60% in May. And many to almost all altcoins, especially this time around, fell 70 to 98%. 98% obviously leaning into some of the small caps, right? That just kind of completely just melted down. But, you know, things like VeChain, things, you know, big name, you know, coins, Solana, all these other ones that ran really hard this time around, they fell just as bad as anything else, right? 80%, 85%, 70% across the board. We go over that, you know, basically every time. And, you know, in the summertime, we went through like what, a 2-3 month period, felt like a lifetime. And we've done the same thing essentially in this pullback as well, just on we didn't just go straight down in one swift move down to 33K, right? We just slowly did it over the course of 3 months. But the time frame of the summer sell-off last year, and then this one was about the same. If this is the turnaround, if this is an uptrend that's starting right now, both those time frames were roughly about 100 days in total from top to bottom. And to answer, I guess, the question of the crypto winter in the same, let me throw up my chart real quick, because this, you know, I try not to compare, go through all the cycles and this and that, like, because like I said, you know, basically, I threw that out the window, you know, after December, right? That was kind of whatever until it wasn't. And
Hey, I mean, what is it? Blockchain Backer. His whole thing is comparing previous cycles, right?
And
It's all about fractals and, you know, all this stuff.
yeah.
So it's
Parabolic
not
was looking at a lot of time frames and time periods. And I mean, let's be real, right? If these institutions are part of of what's going on here, they do need a certain amount of time with OPM, other people's money, to move things around, position, to accumulate, to dump, to do whatever it is that they're doing to position themselves in the market. It takes time. You can't just do it overnight, right? You can't just jump in and move around, you know, $300 billion in just like a, you know, overnight or whatever. Well, actually you can, but you know, that's not generally what they do. But what were you going to show us, Paul?
So just looking at like how that, I guess, that has progressed so far, right? Like looking into, you know,
he's going to show us why Blockchain Backer is wrong.
Okay, I'm here for it, bro. I'm here for it.
I'm just showing that how, like, you know, the 2013, I guess a crypto winter would be categorized as obviously that, you know, 2-year period where you know, we just kind of completely go down and sideways, and more than anything.
What are you on, a weekly?
This is the weekly time frame, yeah. But I'm just bringing up the entirety here. But you can already see, right? Like there's one thing in this chart where everything changed, and you know, this is where I think that most people really don't understand, and even I was ignorant to how it could have impacted the market until, once again, like I said, we walked into December, and right then and there I was like, all right, well, that 4-year cycle to me was invalidated right then and there when we were at the levels we were at 60K on December 1st. And, you know, going through this, and like I partnered up with a new analyst, right, Magic Internet Money, and he basically, man, this dude, he trades like an institution, right? And the tools, the things that I'm showing you right now, I'm not showing you the tools I use to get those, you know, those levels and everything, but this is pretty much like how, you know, a hedge fund and these firms and these guys look for this stuff, right? They're not looking for you know, falling wedges and ascending channel. That's all the stuff that they know that, you know, the retail is going to look for. But whatever, I'm getting ahead of myself there. But regardless, right, you had this time frame here where the crypto winter is, you know, that bear market, right, where we straight up, we're just, you know, completely down to the side. I guess right here you could consider this was like when things started picking back up. Then you look over to this one, and you got a completely different, you know, outcome realistically, right? We did get this, like, you know, kind of a smaller, slower sideways, basically a huge range, and then we fell, right? Like here, we just basically straight down inside. But what we got that we didn't get here was this huge run up, basically almost back to the all-time high, and then basically another run back down. And what we were doing here essentially was just ranging, right? This is when, like, really, like, as these assets get larger, they are going to range more than they're going to do anything, right? You're going to basically range it to a certain degree, about 80% of the time, and then you basically resolve to the upside or to the downside. And that's just kind of how, if you look at the stock market, it's the same way. As decades of, support and resistance and everything flows in, you're going to have that kind of stuff all built out. And if you look at this from that kind of idea set, you can see that we were basically straight up in a range, right? For this entire time, you ran to the highs, you came back to the lows, you ran to the highs, eventually you broke out. This was just a straight up a rounded bottom kind of deal. And
round bottoms, we don't mind round bottoms.
We like the rounded bottoms and the double tops, am I right? But what changed in the market was this day right here, right? This is when the CME futures got introduced, and this is when institutions were able to enter cryptocurrency, not just on the side or whatever. And this, to me, I think that this is really the turning point, right? And then this is where we are. And then once again, look at exactly where we're at right now. You get to this position, and where have we been for over a year now? Straight up, just ranging around, right? Not more than likely, but it is very likely that we're probably going to, run it back up to this top side. Once again, at some point, one of these is going to break, right? Maybe it does come back down and we break down and we go to 20K, whatever that looks like. But yeah, this is kind of the world that we're in, I think, going forward. And, Wall Street is here, right? The institutions are here, and they're the kings of taking profit. So
Miguel talked about this real quick, Paul. I wanted to touch on this to ask you what your thought on this is. Miguel actually talked about this and said when we had talked about it, and you had been saying basically that a while ago when you said it's going to be the most confusing time ever, when we thought that we were going to basically hit 100, drop back down. Well, I think even now we're in that really confusing time. And I remember Miguel talking about how, like, if they're able to just basically size down the moves and just do a bunch of moves up, down, up, down, up, down, and literally bear market, bull market, bear market, bull market. And if they literally have every single one of us that has been in this for years, busting each other's balls because none of us can agree on what's actually happening. Yeah, busting boulders, right? It's like, if we're all doing that, it leaves the confusion out there, and it allows them to continue to do what they do best. And it's what you just said, take profits. They're able to actually say, okay, well, guess what? No one knows. We can at least knock half of the people out, and even more, because you're going to have people that are going to FOMO in, and you're going to have people that are going to paper hand out with those up and down movements. And yeah, I totally agree, man.
And everyone's just looking for the bear market, the crypto winter. But I don't think that's going to be a thing anymore. I think we're just going to have these, like CVO said, right, these ranges, these little small consolidations in a bearish scenario, and everyone's calling bear market, and then we have a massive pump, right? And then whenever we're saying new all-time high bull market, we're blasting off right back down. And by the way, guys, I just want to point out, I'm glad that CryptoKeeper can, after busting my balls all the time, can admit my wisdom that I bring to the table here all the time. He cannot suppress me and suppress my wisdom for you guys much longer. He had to let it go. He had to.
I'm sorry.
Acknowledge
it.
Sorry.
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Hey, it came out. It came out of your mouth. You acknowledged my wisdom, and I appreciate it.
I'm here for you, bro. I'm here for you.
So I don't necessarily think that there wouldn't be that scenario, right, where we get a period of time where maybe there's some lengthy sideways.
So you think with Russia? Hold on. So you think with Russia getting involved with crypto, right? The United States, right? We're seeing Arizona getting involved with crypto. All this legislation happening with crypto.
Did you say Arizona like they were on their own and they're just like their own?
Yeah, the state of Arizona. Sorry,
the state of Arizona getting involved in crypto.
Yeah. What do you want to say?
Got involved last year.
Right? They're getting involved with crypto, right? With Bitcoin, all that stuff, and more, awareness about Bitcoin. And with institutions coming on to play, right? JP Morgan coming out, all these people, right, coming out of the Bitcoin now. Yeah, exactly, right? Now, you think that there's a possibility that we can literally go into a multi-year or, an extended period. I'm just going to say an extended period of a crypto winter where we're just down and sideways, even with all this happening?
It's consolidation, bro. It's accumulation, right?
I think that,
but for an extended period, like extended, right? We're not talking about 2 months or 3 months. We're talking about extended?
I don't know, Paul.
Yeah, I do. I mean, there's just as like, if the news is something, it depends on really how you view things, I guess, right? Like I for one, and I know it's like redundant because I know I'm going to say that I don't pay attention to the news, but sometimes I do, right? That's just kind of one of those things. Today was one of those times, and it was only because I knew that I didn't know that they were coming out until this morning, the CPI report, whatever, because I didn't even pay attention or hadn't been looking. But I knew that around 8:30 that we were probably going to get a reaction in the market, regardless of whatever, that was. And what I was looking for was a rejection from that range high or a break of it. Right. And then of that, I knew what to do in, with what I had planned essentially. So news, it depends on how you want to take it. Right. Because then you got also all this grand news came out in the last day or so after we had a 40% rally in the asset, right? So to me, news is very reactive. It's the reaction, I guess, in most cases. Sometimes I think that it's a little bit correlated at exact times and all this and all that to just make a headline here and there and make people have that why. The CPI for one was one of them.
Here's another one.
I don't even understand. Yeah, I don't know what the Super Bowl thing is unless
the Super Bowl is super.
Crypto,
there's a bunch of
crypto.com.
crypto.com and crypto FTX. They're giving away like crypto and Bitcoin and NFTs. The Super Bowl is giving out NFTs to everybody that bought a ticket and is actually physically there. So it's all like pro crypto, right? So it's gonna be massive with all the Super Bowl ads. So do you think that
market? Then we can probably assume we'll come down on that day for sure.
On that day, we're gonna come down or we're gonna go up?
It's probably come down if everyone's going to be looking to go up. Like if we haven't hit that 40K. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, we'll see how things go. But yeah, I mean, there's just those things, man. It depends on how you view it, right? Because you're one or the other. You're a fundamentals person. You're a technicals person. There's really no wrong or right way. Obviously, whatever works for you the best. For me, I don't pay attention to. I just don't like. Once again, we had this great news about Russia come out today or whatever. One, I didn't know what it was even. Once again, on my live streams, I get comments of people asking me that question, like, what do you think of this Russia news? And then when they're asking me that, I don't even know if it's good or bad. I was like, well, what is it,
Are we at war?
Right. Yeah, I was like, I don't even know what it is, right? So, and then from there, it's like, that's pretty big. I mean, for, if that's the case, why aren't we back at all-time highs today, right? Like that's just a good.
It's a slow grinding thing, right? The news isn't Russia saying we're pro Bitcoin now isn't going to skyrocket Bitcoin to 200,000. It's a slow grind.
Oh, why wouldn't it? If they came out and said they made it drops it 30%. So like, why? You know what I mean? Like, why? If that's like the way, if we did run up right today till 50 grand or at whatever out of nowhere. That would be the story, right? Like that would be because Russia said this, and that would be the whole case. So I'm just trying to point that argument, I guess.
Yeah.
Not that it's an argument at all. Like I said, if you do that, if you're a fundamentals person, obviously it works to some degree. If you kind of can foresee, or if you make your plans on it and everything like that too. If it's like, okay, if you're going to go off of the CPI report,
which are BS, by the way. You do know that those numbers are totally freaking BS as well.
I don't even. Yeah, I pay zero attention to them. But if you know what to expect or know what to look for and know what the bad number would be, know what the good number would be, and once you see it, you can probably assume that the market's going to react to it. But then today you had that exact. It's just a whipsaw all day long, right? We dropped down $2,000, shot up $4,000, dropped back down $2,000, and now we're basically. If you would have woke up right now from yesterday, you'd be at where we were yesterday. So
right back where we started.
Yeah.
I just want to make a quick call out. Just want to make a quick call out to the audience. If you guys want me to ask CVO a direct question about his crypto holdings, drop a 1 in the chat real quick. And if you don't, then we'll drop a 2. We'll leave that out there in the audience to decide.
Guys, make sure that you guys smash the likes. Make sure that you are subscribed. We appreciate everybody's support. Just throwing that out there, guys. Miguel and I are trying to be the Wendy's of crypto Twitter. Okay, just want to throw that out there. So
I hate that comparison. I don't know why you keep calling it the Wendy's.
I always think you're talking about Wendy O for some reason.
Yes, exactly. That's the confusion that it causes.
There's no confusion at all. Wendy's does probably a better job at trolling people on Twitter than any other organization. And so I just want to throw out there that we are going to do our best to raise the level of education while trolling on Twitter. So make sure that
I just want to point out that I put a poll out there. I put a poll on our chat what they thought was going to come first, 100K or 20K Bitcoin, and 55% of people said 20K.
Really?
Right now they're saying they think that.
Yeah, I put a poll out on our chat, right, through YouTube, and they voted, and 55%. I'm gonna tell you how many votes that was. It was 31 votes, right? Literally said 54%, 20K, 45%, 100K.
Okay. But let's talk about it real quick. That is the narrative right now as it relates to everybody needs to be scared, and that this is a dead cat bounce. This is a relief rally. We are going back down. Take your profits while you can.
And whose fault is that, Nick? Whose fault is that?
I mean, it's me. I obviously have all the control over the entire internet. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. You know what I mean?
So I'm seeing a lot of ones in the chat. So I'm going to ask you the question, CVO. The question is, you've mentioned before that you don't hold Bitcoin, and I think you hold a small amount of Ethereum, if any. I don't remember clearly if you do or you don't. The question is, what are you waiting for to ever hold a certain amount of Bitcoin or Ethereum, or are you just going to always be a trader and never?
He's asking you long term why you don't like to hold.
Not why he doesn't like to hold.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't like.
Does he plan to ever buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and hold long term? And if he does, what is it? What's that key factor that makes him say, yeah, this is the moment?
So yeah, I have a Ledger Nano X that is basically got my original most of my original Litecoin that I got back in 2017, and that was what kind of ran me. I ran that all the way to the top, and then I ran it all the way back to the bottom, and never really sold much of it. And that's kind of like that I imagine that's never going to get back to where I bought it at. So that's kind of just like my whatever saving grace.
I never even Litecoin
before savings account.
Yeah, Litecoin.
He bought the
chilling. Oddly enough, for no reason, like no.
Wait, hold on. He said earlier, along with a lot of other creators, that Litecoin was going to hit 1,500. So there's no way that it wouldn't make it back to the price that he bought it.
Well, I bought it back in 2017, so I mean, like I'm saying, it would never make it back to that low. I'm assuming it won't go that low. It always could, I suppose, but.
I thought you were saying you bought. I thought you were saying you bought the top. You bought the top when you originally bought it.
You bought the low. Okay.
Yeah, that was my initial investment. Yeah, back in January of 2017. Okay. And that turned into I mean, it's roughly almost halfway back, I guess, but obviously I sold some along the way and in the worst times back in the day. But so that's kind of like my just in the up in the attic kind of deal. Aside from that, I just actively, move things, man.
So you don't plan on ever holding Bitcoin or Ethereum long term?
Yeah, I mean, if we get to a point where we start I'd be looking for Ethereum. I'm sorry, Bitcoin and Ethereum back down. If we get back, if Bitcoin runs it back towards that $69,000-$70,000 level, whatever, 65, and we get that pullback again, right? Like we were just showing that range. Where it's very possible we run it back until about May, right? And then, just not putting out predictions at all, but what happens every summer, right? The selling, Nick knows very well. Selling
summer lullaby.
So we'll be paying attention around that time frame, and if we're popping up to 60s, 60, in that range again around summertime, and the things that are lining up as well, just as they had been in the past. We got bearish divergences, funding rates through the things around us, depending on what it looks like in that aspect. That'd be something that you can consider. Maybe we come back all the way down. We do have a good amount of, like I said, volume targets below us that generally get hit. And if they don't get hit, we run it back again. Those are something to consider. On top of that, say, for example, we run this CME gap is not necessarily something that, anybody should be holding their breath on. But it is interesting to note that where we fell to, this time around when we just dropped down to 33K, came down and perfectly filled the CME gap, which once again kind of gave, it just was that's why, like, to me, it was also a, naked point of control, huge volume target there that most people weren't paying attention for. But to the, just somebody that's just kind of like listening or looking for a news catalyst, it was like, oh, there's a CME futures gap there. among other things, obviously. But yeah, we make it back. We run it back up. I'll probably cash out some of these Litecoins maybe or something in that nature. But you still have an actively trading account that we go through. That I go through on that I literally put in just whatever has the best setup. I don't even care what it is. If it's VXVs looking good, if some small caps are looking good, whatever. Throw an X amount of stop loss on it and just basically set it and forget it. If it gets stopped out, just readjust from there. And then I don't really leverage trade at all. I leverage trade very small, 5x max on Bitcoin or Ethereum. Generally, just the two of those, because otherwise you have to watch the two of those. You have to watch Bitcoin regardless, right? You can't necessarily easily just leverage, altcoins because, Bitcoin drops 10%, that altcoin's dropping 30. So, but in the, on the flip side, if you're going to be trading altcoins, you have so much, on spot alone, you have 30-40% moves all the time. It just depends on how you want to get into it. So yeah, honestly, the only thing I'm actively holding, and I know this sounds crazy, is Litecoin. That's the only thing. And it's just because I got it years ago and it's up so, exponentially. So it's in a good stage, even if it fell, whatever. So.
But if we got the back the truck numbers, as you call it, if you always call it the back of the truck up, right? Are you actually gonna back the truck up? Or are you just going to load so heavy into a long-term trade would you be looking at that when you call it load the truck, right? Are you looking at that for you? Because everybody has their different things that they do, and would you be looking at that for you? Like, wow, I'm getting into a large trade here, and that's how you'd look at it, or would you say, hey, Ledger Nano, bada bing, bada boom? You know what I mean? Like, what? Like, I'm just curious.
Yeah, if we drop back down to the 30 range, I think that's probably where I'd load up.
After a run up, yeah.
Either way, even if it's now, right? If we drop down to 30K right now. Or below, right? I didn't load up anything at 33. I did not. So it took some, leverage traded. I was really looking for that 28. I really did think 28 was going to come in, but once again, until that was invalidated away, is what it is. But if we drop back to that level, that'd be probably the load the truck zone. And like I said, that 28K, that golden ratio from the March 2020 crash all the way to the 69K high, if we found our way back there. That would be a big load to truck area for me. That you're talking back to $1,700 ETH. You're talking a complete May of last year reset, which we may not ever get, right? So that's the thing, right? You may not get those levels. So
I want to throw something out there real quick. Bob says, surprise, such negativity. Bob, we absolutely are far from negative, brother. I just want to throw out there, literally, you're going to see nothing but what we believe to be truth and realism, right? Like, we're not going to sit here and rub your back and tell you that everything's great when we know that it's not. We're also not going to tell you everything's awful when we know that it's not. We're trying to give you a dose of what we believe to be reality. And the reality is right now you have 3 people on this panel that have been in crypto for about 5 years. And all 3 of us genuinely have different opinions of where we're at, right? This isn't for show. This is, we have 3 different styles. Really more like probably 2 different styles, but 2/3 different styles.
Hey, don't slap me in there with your panic selling style.
I can't be involved in the I can't be involved in the Bitcoin maximalist, that whole chaos there.
I feel sorry for you.
Side note. Speaking of Bitcoin maxi, guys, if you want to meet at least me and Miguel, Paul, are you going to be? I haven't asked you this yet. Are you going to be at the Bitcoin conference April 6th through the 9th? Are you going to be there or no?
So
he's going to be home trading the market.
Well, first I was about to ask Bob, whoever put that up. I was like, I don't know what the negativity would be from. I was going to say, I thought we were, we were looking at the charts. We're pretty much building a daily uptrend. I'm talking about going, running it back.
Oh, he meant the poll.
Yeah, that makes more sense because I was like, I don't feel like we're getting
negative. I got it.
You just walked in and we were talking about 20K, which is so
you guys killed my night.
Yeah, right. I think we're in good shape, honestly. Now, and like I said, there's some invalidations at hand, right? So if we start dropping back down under 38 or realistically,
well, what's that got to do with the Bitcoin conference? I want to know if you're going to the Bitcoin conference.
Oh yeah, I probably won't, man. I'm not a huge. Right. I went to the last one. So two reasons I don't want to go to this conference, and Miguel kind of nailed that on the head, right? Because I don't know what it is, and this is just
He's going to
literally
be shorting Bitcoin the whole conference.
I don't know what it is, but
Can't look people in the eye. Can't walk around and talk to people about Bitcoin in short positions.
every Miami conference has marked at the top for some reason. And like the last one, I was actually at the one. I went to the Miami conference, the one that was on the 9th or 10th. Where is it? 12th? It was the 12th. Well, there was one in May, but there was one the 12th of November, and I'm in Miami as Bitcoin's starting to come down. And I literally thought to myself, because I said that right before even going there, I was like, oh, I remember the one in 2018 or 17. It was literally right at the height of the market. There was one down at the Clevelander in Miami, and everybody it was like literally the most cliche, euphoric scene. People were just going to the ATMs, pulling out, $5 grand, whatever, going to clubs and all this and all that. And literally the next day, the market dropped like 80%.
That's that's because people had to sell to pay for all of their freaking dancers from the night before.
That's it. But I just I don't know. Those events. I mean, I guess maybe if you guys are going and if other people are going, maybe just come and like meet people and I guess do something like that stuff. But those events are hyped up a lot, and you get there and it's just kind of like a nothing burger, in my opinion.
Well, with your boys here, I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be more than a nothing burger. We got some big plans. I can't reveal them on air, but we've got some fun definitely scheduled. You guys won't be able to miss us. You will know that we are there. So yeah, this is for everybody in the chat. If you guys want to come meet your boys here, at least 2 of us are going to be there, and we'll see what Bitcoin's at, and maybe we'll take you out to the club and spend a couple Satoshis. You know what I'm saying?
Put that XRP to work, bro.
That's right. Yeah, you know what? That's not a terrible idea. We'll see where it's at.
It's probably going to be at $1.
But yeah, so you're right. It's been a stable coin it'll be a stable coin until we get out of this this lawsuit. So yeah, we will give you guys some updates. We'll give you guys some updates on that. I think we're going to have like some discount codes and some other stuff that we'll probably throw out there. We're waiting to hear back on a couple little specifics, but yeah, that's down in Miami, April 6th through the 9th. So Miguelito, Paul, is there anything else that we either missed or need to jump on? Did we miss anything in the chat? Did we miss you? Did we miss anybody this evening? No?
I missed all those super chats, bro.
Man,
I didn't see any
where were
night.
they this evening?
Yeah, this evening. There you go.
So yeah, guys, we appreciate each and every one of you. If nobody's told you before today, we love you, because here at Debate Crypto, we question everything and
trust nothing.
So until next